Welcome back to the Surf for All sit down at Florid Media. And today we have Hans from the Mauli Ola Foundation. I want to welcome you for your first time, and I'm excited to have you. And basically, you know, let's let the dust settle. We just got out of the water, and you know, why don't you tell us a little bit about Mauli Ola?
Yeah, Cliff, thanks for having me. So great to be back in New York. We had a little pause from COVID, and you know, we've been coming and doing this event for 11 years now with the Skudins, and it's been one of our favorite stops on our tour. The Mauli Ola Foundation tours the country. We're a national organization, and we teach kids all around the country how to surf with cystic fibrosis.
Wow. So for the viewers that don't know, you know, the connection to cystic fibrosis, like why would that be important for them to be surfing, you know?
Yeah, it was really interesting. Back in like 2008, the founders of Mauli Ola read this article in the New England Journal of Medicine about surfers in Australia who were living longer with cystic fibrosis, who were practicing surfing regularly. And what it is, it basically surfing mimics their treatments that they have both in clinic and at home. When a wave breaks, the hypertonic saline comes up, this mist, and when they breathe it in their lungs, it helps them limit infection. It helps them, breathe better. It basically opens up their airwaves. It helps them expel mucus, helps limit infection, and it was proven over time that it was like almost like a prescription to go surfing will help their condition.
Wow, that's incredible. I love that. And, you know, surfing is so healing in so many different ways. And, you know, what you guys are doing is incredible. Just spreading the awareness of how the ocean is healing to people with cystic fibrosis, I think is so important. And you're on the ground level. You're really putting it out there. All the people, you know, that are involved with the Mauli Ola. I know a lot of people love the foundation and they support it, and for obvious reasons.
Yeah, we had such a great cast of characters, professional surfers and athletes who volunteered their time over the years. And yeah, it's amazing to see the results of these kids. I mean, we've taken thousands of kids over the last decade. We became a nonprofit officially in 2009 and made it our mission to go around and spread that awareness. As we all know, it also helps, you know, with mental health. It helps with all kinds of different challenges. Cystic fibrosis is a very isolating disease. It's a genetic disease. So a lot of these families don't get to go out. So, you know, we're so lucky that Mother Nature and the ocean is creating a healthy environment for them to be on the beach. You know, we practice, you know, we have best practices as far as keeping 6 feet separated, sanitize the equipment, you know, and make sure that the kids are safe. Those parents are trained and the kids are trained, and you know, over time it just it's really great to see that implemented and kind of come out of this kind of isolation to actually gather in a safe way and go surfing.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen it, and there is something where if two people have cystic fibrosis, they have to be farther apart. Can you share on that? Like there is some specifics when you see a cystic fibrosis outing, you know, can you share a little bit about that? Yeah,
the families are really well trained having their kids. I mean, it's a scary thing because it's a cross-contamination thing because it's a genetic mutation. So it's very specific to that family, what their mutation is like. So for us, we have to be really cautious. You'll never see a group photo of us. We have best practices in that sense, and so every time we pair them with an instructor, it's one instructor and one board, and you know we're just very conscious of that, and the families know the drill. Yeah. We all kind of learned that during COVID. It's like we've been doing this practice for 12 years, and then COVID came around. We're like, oh no, you could wear a mask, you do all those things. It's just not to get each other sick. Yeah. And that's important. And we're just so lucky that Mother Nature provides this therapy and this environment.
Yeah, especially like after the year that, especially if you have an underlying health issue during COVID, we were all affected, but you know, for them, they probably even more to get these waves it's so healing, and I think, but we've learned that the ocean is like the safest place to be, where I think is really important too.
Yeah. It changes all of our days. I mean, you get out in the vitamin D underneath the sunshine, you plunge under the ocean and look at the horizon, and it's just such a good, healthy environment for them to thrive. And it's hopefully something that they take on in their life and continue to do. And a lot of these families do that. So we're stoked to continue to spread awareness and educate to get these families out there and encourage them to do these outdoor activities. And they have it hard enough with all the medication and the checkups and all the things that they have that give them worries in their life. So it's so nice to have a day that's kind of worry-free and just a healthy thing to do under great guidance. Yeah. Like your brother Will came out today and helped out. And it's just amazing. Some of these guys have so much experience and just to get these kids, the rise of their lives.
Yeah.
Interesting story. I grew up in a surfing background. I was a professional surfer for about 25 years. And right towards the end of my career, I had these two friends I went to high school with, Charles and James Dunlop. And Charles was in diagnostics. He was in actually doing the genome sequence. He was one of the innovators in that. And one of their first tests they ever did was CFTR. And they were lifelong surfers, and they saw the connection. And they're like, oh, what an amazing thing. We're on the ground floor diagnosing these families. So what a great thing to do to be a resource for them, to teach them that there's other ways. Obviously the Western ways of medicine are super important. The condition cannot be managed without it, but just to let them know that there's alternatives. Yeah. And at that time I was a pro surfer. I have two healthy kids, they're both in high school. Yeah. And, but at that time that connection was really pure to me, and it really spoke to me. When I went on their first national tour in 2010. And when the role opened up as a director, I was like, it was right in my wheelhouse. It was like all the kind of things that I have to do. It was kind of a crash course in learning the nonprofit world. Yeah. And I know you just kind of went through that with Surf for All. And so it was just one of those things. I just kind of bootstrapped it and made it happen. And I'm happy. I've been.
Absolutely. I think all the stars really aligned. They're so psyched that you're such a huge part of the foundation, the organization of Mauli Ola. And like you said, there's so many pros that are involved, and they really spread the awareness and always help out. And it's just such good vibes. Every time you guys come here, I love it. You really set off the summer. And these kids that come to the outings, they continuously come through the summer, which I think is pretty special. They come to camp and they do some stuff, and we see a lot of the same families year after year. So it's beautiful in those ways. And about the children, I wanted to touch before we leave. I know you do a lot of stuff in the hospitals and people, and I'm actually wearing one of the hats, that you guys made from FlexFit. This thing's pretty sick. Can you share about? This hat's pretty special. Yeah.
This is a FlexFit art hat that we've been doing over the years. Typically, when we tour the country,
this hat is pretty cool.
Yeah, we visit children's hospitals across the country, and we do gifting. And when we have our athletes, we do poster signings, and most importantly, we connect with them, which is with bedside visits and things like that. And try to come up with activities. We have, art books and pen sets.
So they're like drawing into the lines and make.
They draw into the lines, and it's a big part of our program. We're so grateful for FlexFit for partnering with us. They've been with us since the beginning, and it's a great program, and it's a good keepsake for them when we pass through.
Keep the hat?
You can keep the hat.
Yeah. I don't know if my drawing's gonna be good. Kind of like all over the place. But I'll definitely give it a shot. But thank you so much, Hans. And is there anything else that you want to share on before we get going?
Yeah, I just want to thank both Skudin Surf Camp and Surf for All. Surf for All is super accommodating, and it's amazing that they have a platform and a location and are so well organized to be able to take on organizations like ours and our mission. And make it doable. Without guys like you, we couldn't do what we do. So I'm just super grateful for that. And, I want to hear more about your pool, the saltwater pool. I know.
Yeah, I think coming soon we're going to be doing. So the Skudin Surf American Dream has an indoor pool, and I was saying we should be doing an outing, this winter when these kids, that people are, cold, you can't go outside, it's like this whole thing, and it's like we walk into this tropical arena where you feel like you're in, the Caribbean, and it's incredible. I would love to do something with you, fly into Newark. 10 minutes away. I think it's a no-brainer. I think that's next for New York or New Jersey.
Yeah, I love the idea of breaking up that cold winter, or that those transitions, the seasonal transitions here. I know they wear on surfers, so it's it gets really hard out there. So it's amazing to know that there's
I can't wait to see you rip that pool. I mean, I know I've seen what you've done in the surfing world, and it is impressive. 25 years as a pro, you shred, so what do you think? You think you can,
I'll give that place give that place a go, get my good.
What's your go-to, if you had a perfect wall, what's your go-to trick? What is your,
oh man, I'm just try to get as much speed as possible and do a huge hack. I'm in I come from the school, my air game's a little slack, but I'll just try to keep my speed.
Yeah.
Throw some big turns and maybe look for the tube. If I could find a tube.
Yeah. Well, we have a wave called the Vortex. It's like a quick little tube, but we have a wave we call Wall Street, where it has a nice long line. Boom.
Yeah.
Big turn.
I'm in.
And we'll get the kids stoked. So yeah, thank you, Hans. Love having you here. We love when you come to New York, and I appreciate you going out of your way. And I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having us. You guys feel like family. And I hope we continue the tradition of stoking out all these kids. And just super happy to be here.
Everybody, that believes in Surf for All, the Mauli Ola, like you said, none of this is possible unless all of us together, And I just want to thank everybody from, who watching this and supports the mission. It's single purpose of just helping others, learning, surfing, and just loving the ocean,
Yeah. So. Good job. My hat goes off to you guys. And like I said, this is the first stop of our East Coast tour. We come through every summer. And I hope we just can continue to stoke kids for decades to come.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Hans. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, man.